What? Well, there has been a lot of...
When I get around to it.
I'm not really in the mood for this.
I'm on vacation!
Soon enough.
all of it resulting in...
Oh, justice.
But finally...
Shit, just got real!
Mario for 12GaugeSlug, climbing out of the underground to review Tool's 5th full-length, Inoculum, out since October 30th. This is a 7-song album with 3 interludes that spans 90 minutes. 90 minutes. And I, personally, have not been waiting on it too anxiously, so I'm probably going to ward off a lot of Tool fans with a very unbiased, unsentimental review. But don't get me wrong now, when I was in high school, I listened to the band religiously all through my freshman year. I know their body of work, and I was curious to give Inoculum a careful and fair listen. I'm gonna assume we all know who these guys are and what they're about. But I will say that they are a very elegant example of mainstream hard rock and metal, even though...
And when people call us metal, I kind of go, I feel like taking a bath.
So after getting over the excitement of simply listening to an album from these guys after 13 years, I found it poorly written and obviously overlong.
Damn!
So at 10 plus minutes per song, you might expect a lot of substance and content, but the thing is, each song is kind of built on one riff and groove, which is either elevated and rebooted several times, or it's simply repeated with very minor developments through its second verse. Either way, you kind of find yourself listening to almost the same thing more than halfway into the song as you were hearing about a minute into it. Now compare that to the diversity that you hear within any one song on Anima, most of which are half the length of Inoculum songs. This album is essentially comprised of well-established Toolisms, and any fan listening to it will have heard just about every trick that the band have implemented here. And these tricks are almost identical to some instances from the band's back catalog. The main new aspect on this album are the many guitar solos, and I really like some of them. The suppressed tone of the one in Invincible vibes with the song's theme of battling against impending old age. The melancholy solo in Descending with crashing cymbals also vibes with this song's theme of rallying against potential annihilation, and then there's the pinched squealing solo towards the end of Tempest that might be my favorite. However, a big problem with some of the solos on this album are their placements towards the endings of these very long and dull songs, so that by the time they do occur, good as they may be in themselves, they're flat within the overall songs. Maynard's now legendary vocals are diminished, and they are less diverse than they are in previous releases. And those robotic vocal effects towards the endings of Inoculum and Invincible just sound honestly ridiculous. And it feels like they were done to simply add some diversity to the otherwise monotone delivery. Pay attention to the lyrics, and these effects sound even less sensible. And since we're at the lyrics, they are as cryptic as ever, but there is not much there. The choruses are simple and they're repeated word for word several times during a song, and the verses are very general and generic. In Inoculum, Maynard makes the same statement throughout the song, only using different phrasing. There are so many $20 words in this song, the man's got you paying about $400 for a message that you can get out of a 25-cent fortune cookie. And seriously, man, mitosis. A mitosis is a division of one life form into 2 identical life forms, not a transformation or elevation such as I expect would occur with destruction of the ego. So where's the other Maynard? The second verse of Numa is just a chanting of Wake Up Child before the song's same old chorus comes back, and Invincible is very repetitive until that robotic vocal section that I mentioned comes on. Maynard also name drops Caligula and Ponce de Leon, a seemingly random explorer known for discovering the Florida region of the US. Going along with the song's theme on getting older, maybe Maynard got his sights set on the retirement capital of the United States. Otherwise, it just kind of seems like he's mentioning an obscure figure to be fancy. I do like the second half of the album. Culling Voices discusses the delusional state of obsessive paranoia in relationships, which leads one to come to false conclusions without justification from his or her partner. And Tempest seems to be directed at Trump himself, along with worldwide leadership in general. There is only one song on Fear Inoculum that I like in its entirety, and this song is Descending. It crescendos through several passages with enough diversity in the vocals and instrumentals to remain interesting throughout. Tempest is another highlight with several massive solos coming in quick succession to close the album in climactic fashion. And finally, Danny Carey's Chocolate Chip Trip drum solo is very impressive, but along with the album's other three intermissions, they just kind of come off more as interruptions because they clash so drastically with the overall style of music. Fear Inoculum is the most straightforward and simple sounding Tool album of all. This album is a 5.5 out of 10 for me. If I'm recommending any of it, I'm going to recommend Descending and Tempest. But it's probably better in a higher meditative state. Maybe they should have swapped that screen that comes with the special edition of the album for a 20 bag of weed and a thesaurus.